Hello everyone, hello fellow writers. Oh my gosh, welcome back to my channel. It's been so long since I've actually filmed. Um, I just wanted to give an update. So I am, still writing, but the past few months I was studying for the bar exam. So I started that in March, and I took the exam in July, end of July, and I passed. That was so stressful, and I'm just glad that part is over. But yeah, I passed. Since August, I've been working on the fantasy novel that I completed and sent to I can't even remember what the thing is called anymore. Querying. No offers from agents from that story, but I passed the bar exam, so it's some highs and some lows. Well, I don't really consider it a low. I realized that I wasn't writing the story I really wanted to tell, but I didn't know what that story was. It wasn't coming out in the writing. And the thing that really bothers me about the way my mind works is I have to write and rewrite to see what the plot is supposed to be. One of the biggest things in this story is the power itself. They have such a strong connection to the land, to the current culture and the past culture, to the forest, the magical enchanted forest. But I wasn't showing that. It was little here, little there, but those things were supposed to be the main point of the story, seen throughout from chapter 1 to the last chapter. And I wasn't writing that. I just felt like I was writing some marathon race, and these two groups have to run from A to B, and at the end of B, they win a trophy. And that's what I was writing, and it wasn't satisfying because that's not what I was supposed to be writing. That's not the story. And it took me so much writing, thinking, reflecting, daydreaming to realize that fault in my story. And now that I see it, I'm rewriting it in a way that allows the two groups to kind of reconnect with the Lost Kingdom's culture, to reconnect with the past as well, and realize that the past was also in the present. And how you can want something so badly like that trophy and lose sight of what was actually important, which is not just that power, but what that power represented for the land and the people. Because it is for the land and for the people. It's not just for their selfish ideas of what they want, or for them to feel like, I'm invincible, I'm better than that person, I'm more powerful than them. It's not for them to feel like that. It's for them to give back to each other, and they're not even thinking about that. And so this new draft is going to spend a lot of time exploring that aspect, kind of them wondering, okay, what did we do wrong, where did we go wrong, and them also discovering the history of where that power came from. It takes place in so I had to take place in a fictional country in between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia, but then I was like, no, that seems kind of weird. So then I was going to do it in Zambia, but now I'm like, no, I kind of want to go back. It just feels weird to talk about a fictional environment in a real country, because I mention politics, like the characters who are in political positions, and I just don't want that to be seen as a reflection of the actual country, because it's not. So I'm kind of grappling with how to fix the setting as well. But it takes place in the continent of Africa, and I wanted to look at the cultures there, and the kingdoms and empires there that isn't spoken about a lot, that we don't know a lot about, their traditions and cultures. And I wanted that to show through the story as well. And it was to a certain extent, but again, not the way that I truly intended to. By changing the story to focus on the characters' connections to each other and the land, I am able to showcase that culture from the 17th century and from the 14th century. You know, their maybe bits of their language, how they sang songs, how they danced, how they thought about the world around them, their religious related beliefs or lack thereof. So that is what I've been doing the past few months. And I'm actually so glad that I didn't get any offers from the agents, because that story wasn't complete in the way that this will be. And I also realized I'm writing a fantasy story. I mean, it's more like contemporary fantasy, I guess. Why was I trying to stay around 80,000 words? That's not necessary. It can be longer. I can write more. So I actually realized that from reading To Sleep in the Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Great story. Did not realize it was almost 900 pages until I got to almost 400 pages in, or around like 350 pages or something. And I was like, why am I not even halfway through this book? I don't know why I thought that book was 500 pages. That doesn't even make sense when you look at it. Anyways, yeah, so I noticed how many pages there were, and I realized I was selling myself short a lot. And that's probably why the story didn't feel complete, because it wasn't. I could write more, but I wasn't. I don't know. I don't write fantasy. I'm not a fantasy author. This is my first time actually writing out like a fantasy novel. So I think even though I know these things, I didn't really internalize it. So that's what I'm doing now, and it's been a great experience spending all this time thinking of this story, thinking of my characters, getting back into their mindsets, into their personalities. Oh, and that's another thing. So there's multiple POVs. One of the characters, her chapters were written in first person. She's the main protagonist, the main narrator. For some reason, my beta readers were not able to grasp her personality, her motivations. I think I've talked about this before. And I didn't understand why. I could kind of see that distance, but I didn't know what was causing it. And as I reread her chapters, I didn't like the way it was written. I didn't like the way it sounded. So I switched to third person. The other characters are written in third person. She was the only one written in first. Because like I said, she was the main narrator. When I started writing her chapters in third person, night and day, in my opinion. The sentences started to flow a whole lot better. The story for her chapters, just getting immersed, I loved it. I loved it a whole lot more than first person. So that was another switch that I did. I think I've written 20,000 words or more for this new direction that I'm going into, which is insane. I'm just allowing myself to write. It's as if it's a first draft, which it technically is in a sense. How do I have so many words? I used to be an underwriter, and now I'm wondering if I might have to cut things down. I'm just excited about this new direction. And I also don't actually have an ending right now, like a clear-cut ending. The characters will go on a journey together, which is gonna be crazy because they do not like each other. I don't exactly know how that's going to end, but instead of just thinking and daydreaming, I decided to write out the scenes that I am sure about and then see where that leads me to, where the destination ends up being. Because I just feel I don't know, I just feel really at peace with this direction. Like, yes, this is what I needed to do. This is how the story is supposed to be told. Anyways, that's what I've been doing. That's my update, I guess. I hope that you enjoyed me explaining this new direction for the story. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm just really excited. I'm just really excited now. I love writing. Maybe in another video, I'll tell you about some books that I've been reading and more about the research I've been doing. So stay tuned for that. There will be more videos. I promise. I promise. It won't be months in between each other. Okay. So thank you again. Have a good rest of your day, night, or any time of day. Bye.